So I do a lot of these interior videos of brand new vehicles throughout the years, and I've never actually done one about my own daily driver E92 M3. So I figured, why not do one? So this is my 2012 BMW E92 M3 competition package, and I'm gonna go through and showcase the interior of this thing. So I'm gonna highlight the different modifications that I have, kind of touch on what would be there if I didn't have the modification as well. But here we go. So over on the left, you've got your window switches, you've got your door latch up here, you got rear mirror adjust right here, you got a speaker visible right here. You got your lighting options right here. You can toggle this for the automatic drive lighting modes as well. Down here is a latch for the hood and a trunk release. So in my M3, I have WeatherTech floor mats. It's kind of overexposed darkness down there, but I have WeatherTech floor mats, and I have the M Performance pedals. You can see this is the DCT model, so I'm gonna have 2 pedals. That is an upgrade, obviously, that I've done. Moving to the gauge cluster. It's a standard M3 gauge cluster. A lot of people can swap these circles out for more fluorescent colors, but overall on the left, you've got the speedometer. Over on the right, the tach features M branding in the middle, and I got the shift lights because it's a DCT model. So these will, if I'm high up in the rev range, light up yellow until the last ones are red. In the center, you can switch between different screens, showcasing data such as miles per gallon, miles per hour, the temperature outside and the time, the miles until the fuel runs out. And then this is a screen I pretty much leave it on, which is the oil level screen. So this vehicle comes with a digital dipstick, so I always like to leave it on here because it takes a while to warm up to the time it takes to view that. So down in the center, you can see the gear you're in. So right now I'm in park, but if I switch it over into drive, the vehicle starts in first gear, even though it is not a manual. It is kind of in that in between where it's pretty much a true dual clutch transmission, because it wants to put you in first gear to begin with, and then if I hit it over again, it'll drive automatically for me. But it does not have a parking gear, so I was in park, but that's because I did not select a gear. So to get into park, you pretty much have to turn the vehicle off once it's in neutral or in a gear. My vehicle has an error message right there that is simply telling me that the brake pad indicator or warning is cut because I have Stop Tech brakes on the exterior. So that's what that little exclamation point is. And also because of that, when I put the emergency brake down, that red for emergency brake, if I put the emergency brake down, it's kind of yellow to still let me know there's a brake error, but there is no true error. How I was swapping between everything up on that screen is the build computer button right here, BC button. You just push that in and it kind of swaps between the different options. Moving to my steering wheel, it is the BMW M Performance steering wheel wrapped in Alcantara with a blue stripe at 12 o'clock. I like the M Performance steering wheel. It's kind of pricey, but if I would go back in time, I'd probably opt for Kobe wheel because some of my other interior accents that I have changed are Kobe wheel, so I could have had them all together. But they do match, even though they're different manufacturing from BMW to the Kobe wheel. But just to save money, I probably should have opted for the Kobe wheel steering wheel. I also swapped out the standard little paddles. So they were true paddles, but they kind of just extended to where my fingers are ending. I wanted the longer paddles. These are Auto Technic billet aluminum paddles that I swapped in the back. The steering wheel also features an M branding at the bottom. I should probably note that. So along with the paddles and the steering wheel, I also swapped out my M button to be a red M button. Obviously, driving this for 5+ years, I know where the M button is, but it kind of just highlights that it's a special button. And I also swapped out the engine start stop button, which is normally just black, for a red button as well. So I pretty much swapped them at the same time. Moving over to the iDrive system, I'm going to take this moment to showcase what M settings I normally use. So if I were to push the M button, this is what I like to cruise around with. So the transmission settings are at the top. I like it in its most nutty mode. That is the most nutty while traction control is on. If you turn traction control off, you unlock a hidden, more aggressive 6th mode. And then you have the damper control. I like it in sport. The stability control, I like MDM mode on. I like a little play. Power, that's just kind of the throttle response. I like it in the most aggressive mode. Servotronic, I like normal and not sport, because it just makes the steering wheel fake that it's more tighter. I kind of don't want the car to pretend that it doesn't know how to drive. I want it to drive standard. And the shift lights, I think, are cool, so I have them on. But this is the main menu. You've got CD, multimedia, radio, telephone, navigation, office apps, connected drive, vehicle info. So you got like onboard info, trip computer, vehicle status. This is another spot where you can see your oil level, the tire pressures, things like that. Then you got different settings. This is where the M button is pretty much at the top, and then different things such as time, date, and language, things you probably never change after you first purchase the car. In connected drive, that's where you can use some of the BMW apps, such as the M lap timer. So I have a video out where it shows you how you can kind of fake that you have a track outline on your iDrive system. So maybe I'll put that video in the description should you want to do that as well. Moving down from there, I got my normal HVAC controls that you would find in any BMW. Panning out a little bit, I like to use a Escort Max 360 radar detector in my vehicle. I realize it's not really a mod, but I'm gonna call it out because this is my car. So I live in Pennsylvania, where the local police aren't actually allowed to shoot radar. So this is kind of useless in Pennsylvania, but I commute and work in Maryland often, so it's very useful across the state line. But that's pretty much why I use it. It has the old school Valentine 1 directional identifier showcasing where I'm getting hit with lasers or wherever any sort of radar is coming from. And it's plugged in right here, and I like to run a USB plug in case I want to charge my phone. So this is the dual clutch transmission knob, I would say. It's got M branding. You can shift gears here or on the paddles on the back, should you wish. So you got reverse, neutral, knocking it over like I showed puts it in the first gear, knocking it over again puts it into an automatic drive mode, and obviously down for gears, up is back. And like I said, there is no park gear. How you park the car is put it in neutral or a gear and turn the vehicle off, and a P will display up in the center console. So this is a more manual way to adjust the transmission. So it's different lighted gauges, or bars I should say. So if I put the vehicle in a gear, you see it's like a cell phone bar. So if I push my M button, I like it in the most nutty mode, so it puts all the bars lit up, but you can also control the bars right here. And it kind of alludes to the hidden 6th gear by having an open bar right there. So that's how you could enable it should you turn traction control off. So these are some M buttons to the left of that. So you got power, which is controlled by the M button as well. Damper control has 3 different settings, which can be controlled up there, and traction control. This is the iDrive knob with a bunch of quick favorite buttons all around. Another modification that I did was the Colby wheel emergency brakes. So I have the handle portion as well as this portion as well. So I kind of put them together and plug it in. So it matches real well to the steering wheel, but like I said, if I would have got the Colby wheel steering wheel, it would have been all from the same manufacturer. I like this unique option as well. So this is the M Junkie armrest delete, GTS armrest delete, I would say. So the GTS model was the most nutty model that BMW created for this generation M3, and it came with basically an Alcantara piece right here. And that piece from BMW, it's very, very expensive, whereas this is, I don't remember the exact price I paid, but M Junkie's a great guy. You should go check him out. I think he sells them exclusively through Instagram. It's a really nice piece, so it just kind of pops out. You kind of lose the utilization of the space, but I had the like communication box, so I had to rip all that out, so there wasn't really much space here. You can still utilize your USB port, kind of have a drive in there for music, and you can still utilize this cubby hole, but for the most part this spot up here is covered in the foam, but it looks real cool. Moving to the passenger side, it'll give you a better look at what my dashboard looks like. So I have the carbon fiber leather dash, which kind of goes from the passenger side crossing over to the driver, and also on the door you got hidden cup holders. Right here's a hidden cup holder as well. Glove box, nothing really to note, just a bunch of manuals and my insurance stuff, some Grid Life sunglasses. I recently attended a Grid Life event. You can see the speaker that I showed on the driver door, WeatherTech floor mats that I mentioned. Something that I have modified in my vehicle is I took out the stock seats for Recaro Sportster GT seats, and also swapped in some Scroff Racing harnesses. So these are the Quick Fit Pros, so they are street legal, but also you can quickly just undo this buckle spot and you can utilize the standard steering wheel should you wish. They kind of pass through to the buckles behind. And the reason they are street legal is they do not have like a latch style seatbelt. It's kind of a red press button, much like any seatbelt you drive in any other vehicle. So this is the rear. I don't really have any modifications in the rear other than I kind of popped out that cubby hole spot that's behind the middle, just so more noise might come through from the exhaust. I don't have a sunroof M3. I have a carbon fiber roof M3. You cannot see that from the interior. Simple lighting buttons up top. But that is the interior of my 2012 E92 M3 competition package. So there's nothing on the interior, as you saw, that kind of highlights that it's a competition package, except for in the iDrive, I think you get Sport Plus under one of the settings. There's nothing really on the interior that tells you it's a competition package. E92 M3. But hope you liked this video, and thanks for watching.